So hello traders and potential future traders, Patrick Maldonado here, cryptocurrency trader and market analyst at Alpha Chain Capital and founder of TCE Trading. So in today's episode, I will be talking more about TCE trading, the services I offer, and how I am different from other trading education providers. And I will also be discussing about my trading course, but more importantly about my mentorship program. If you are new to trading or do not know where to start, this episode will definitely be insightful for you. So if you know anyone who might be interested in trading, please let them know about this podcast. I would like to change the industry and how it is marketed, but I need your help to achieve this. So let's start with the podcast. The first thing is kind of like, I've been doing these free podcasts, and also I've been writing more on my blog. Mainly, the main aim for me is to really help other people, okay? I am a real believer in giving out value, and reciprocation. If you give out value first, I truly believe that you're going to get something after, right? But it's not only you give something out. You can't be like asking people to give you something if you are not willing to do it first. At least that's how I believe all this business should really work. Maybe that's a little bit too ideal. I don't know. You tell me, listeners. But in any case, as a content creator, I also offer kind of like a paid course in this case, which is the AB trading course. And I will be talking a little bit more about that. But, it's very interesting because I did start with TC trading this year. Might be around, I think it was around March that I had my first student. And it's very funny because I started literally with a PowerPoint. How crazy is that? With some, it was a PowerPoint with several slides, of course, covering a lot that I have today. But if you compare that to what I have now, all the hours that I spent on, I spent not only on the web page, I spent more on the course to make it like really, really solid, really covering all the parts in trading, and if I don't cover something, then I do cover it on mentorship as well, which is something that not a lot of other education providers in trading do, and something very, very cool that I'm even doing a podcast with one of my students. Probably you will hear it after a couple episodes because I'm just arranging this, and I have to schedule the different episodes and so on. But some of them are starting to perform, and that only makes me happy. I started this year again, and some of my students are starting to go live. They are starting to have maybe small, but growth in terms of percentage with their accounts. Some of them are really growing in demo, getting more and more confidence, and it just makes me happy. It makes me fulfilled, right? Because I've spent so much time on this project. I spent so much time on the web page. I spent so much time on the course. I've spent so much time on the trading tools that I give you guys. Of course, if you join the course, and I just love seeing results from my students mainly. I spend a lot of time one-on-one, so we start forming kind of a relation, and I'm happy for them. Now, what I want to discuss in this podcast, is how TC trading is different from other trading education providers, right? And the main thing with TC trading, my main aim is to be honest and transparent. I've mentioned it before in my story. I've been scammed before. I bought courses. I've done a lot of research in this kind of free stuff, webinars, and, leave your mail here and then we'll get you back with some videos and stuff. And, I just don't like it. I want to change the industry, and this is why I started TC trading, and this is why I'm potentially, even right now, I'm underselling it a little bit just to get the word out there. But let's discuss about different companies and about different business models, right? Because some of them, they are selling trading systems. They will tell you this is a strategy, and if you follow it, you have 99% chance of being successful. Or they sell a course and they say, after this course, you're gonna be earning at the very least 100,000 per month. And they make you these very bold promises. And something that I've told you before is that if you hear something that's too good to be true, you know, you better watch out. You better be suspicious about it. And the thing is, because the devil's in the details, right? It's under what's, I mean, all the details are what's important with all this education content and with all these things that a lot of companies are selling, you know. Another big thing is that there's little to no one-to-one interaction with a lot of these companies. You know, I mean, excepting for the sellers who are trying to actually sell you, so they will be like, you got my number, so if you want to buy, just call me. You know, I'm always available. Or this HR department, you know, if you have more questions about our program, etc., just send us an email. And the thing here is that, I mean, that's personally, right? That's my personal opinion, but I don't want to ask questions and all I receive is, please contact our HR department. You know what I mean? I want real insights from the educators or whoever is giving the course, or someone who has the technical knowledge to tell me, hey, this is what we cover the course, this is why it's important, right? I mean, I understand that for bigger companies, maybe it's more difficult, but you know, doing free content, doing free podcasts enables you to spread the word and spread your knowledge, so that the audience and the people who want to join whatever you're doing, if it's courses, if it's you know, trading system, whatever it is, you know, they have a little bit of insight. So that's why I put a lot of free content, because you know, if I don't demonstrate that, if I don't give value, how can I expect people to even pay me, right? Uh, so apart from that, you know, this is why I offer a one-to-one free session, and that's for everyone. You know, and again, this is coming back to this thing that I just talked about, which is give value first. You know, this is essential. You know, you have to have kind of this reciprocation and this authenticity in terms of giving out and then receive something. I just don't believe that you can go around and ask people again to pay for a course, to pay for training systems, etc., without giving them something to at the very least trust you. And you know, just arriving again to the services that I offer, this is kind of the aim of the AB trading course. Now, even with my students, I've compared this course a kind of an allusion to the fishing story, and I'm gonna be butchering this story here. I'm gonna be maybe it's not the right way to say it, but I hope that you have heard about it before, where you can give someone a fish and maybe keep them happy for a day, right? Or you can teach them how to fish and they will be grateful forever. So this is very important, because in the AB trading course, you know, I'm teaching the whole trading process all the way from theory. You know, in theory we talk about technical analysis, about indicators, about trading patterns. We talk about risk management after, trading psychology, and how you can create your own trading system and test it and make sure that that can make you money in the long run. And that's something that a lot of people don't teach, and they focus on, oh yeah, this strategy that's 90% accurate, and they don't even give you the backtest. Where's the proof to say that that's an actual thing that's working, right? Now, in terms of theory, of course, I cover technical analysis, the indicators, the patterns, as I've just said, and I go into in-depth definitions and what they are, or what these different things are, how they are used in practice, and I even go into real market examples with the charts. I just don't show you something and then, you know, it's an image and that's it. In terms of risk management, I talk more about the best practices, what you need to follow, how to calculate your exposure, how to calculate your performance, and I even give you templates and calculators that I have worked several hours on them on Excel, so that you can really measure accurately what you are doing with your account, right? If you are earning, if you are losing, you need to be aware about that. One of the important parts as well is the trading psychology part. Now, I focus a lot on cognitive biases and types of tilts, and I even mentioned something very important, which is kind of like a solution for psychological problems, which is awareness, solution, and implementation. And I believe I've already talked about this, but basically, you know, you gotta be aware of your problems, not only acknowledge them, but be aware, create a solution, and then actually do something about it. Now, another important part, and this is very interesting, is the reasoning behind mentorship, because a lot of people are just selling different courses, and they hope for this passive income. So they are like, okay, I'm gonna mass market the course, and that's it. I'm gonna be sitting here earning money while I sleep. Now, I already told you about my story. Because of the lack of mentorship that I had, I lost a lot of money. I developed a lot of bad habits. And it is proven that students learn better when there is a connection between themselves and teachers, right? Mentors or coaches, whatever it is. And potentially you have felt this maybe when you were in high school, maybe when you were in middle school. There was that teacher that you didn't like, and probably you didn't learn a lot in that class, and that's for a reason. Now, in TC trading, it's interesting because I don't really want to sell you a course, right? What I really focus on, and the flagship of TC trading, is really the mentorship. That's where the real value is. And if you go into this kind of a hybrid course, I call it, even the AB course is practically free. And this is kind of bad business in a sense, because I could be pushing more towards really having this course out, maybe make it more automatic, again, put more marketing on it, and maybe creating passive income. But I don't think that's where the benefit is for you guys at the very least. Now, from feedback that I've gotten from my students, what they have learned the most out of is when we have these one-to-one sessions where I correct their mistakes they have on their homework. I give them more feedback on what they're doing, how they're analyzing their approach, and also, very importantly, individual questions that they may have. And this is surprising because a lot of students have such different questions, and they think so different, that I think that's amazing, because I can't really answer to their specific requirements and specific type of questions. Some students are gonna be more avid kind of traders. They're gonna be potentially smarter than others, or maybe they understand concepts easier than others. So you have a lot of different questions, and this brings a kind of like the main thing about TC trading is that you have a tailored experience. Each one of my students have had a different journey through the course. It's the same content, of course. That course is a course, but in terms of the one-to-one mentorship, every experience is different, because depending on their previous knowledge, depending on how they are doing right now, depending on their lifestyle, the course is gonna be tailored a little bit more, at least in the hybrid course. Now, the question here, after talking about the course, you're probably gonna be like, hey, he's gonna definitely try to sell the course. So if the question is, why should you join TC trading if you are new to trader? My honest answer is, maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. This is probably the answer that you wouldn't expect. For most people, or most businesses, you will definitely expect them to try and push and say, hey, come with me, this is the solution. After this course, you're not gonna need anything else. This is it. And that's false. Even from a trading perspective, you always need to continue learning. The market's always evolving, so you gotta evolve with the market. So if someone tells you, this is it, and you don't need to read anything else, this is the last course you need, that's false, because you need to read more about the markets, you need to read more about the psychology, you need to improve yourself as a person in order to cope with your emotions, right? So I personally don't sell anything that I don't believe in. If you want to get started with trading with someone who's honest, with someone who's transparent, then yeah, for sure, come join the other students, get more involved in the conversation, get into the course, right? If that's what you want. Now, if you were looking for a holy grail or a get rich quick scheme where you just invest 1,000 and then you're gonna get 2, 3, 4, 5, 10,000 back, don't waste your time with me. Don't make me waste my time, because that's not trading, that's gambling. Trading is more of a marathon marathon rather than a sprint, and you need to take a look at it for the long-term perspective, getting consistent profits, getting a successful edge, getting this trading system that's gonna work for different market conditions, but at the very least for the long term. And if it stops working, then how can you actually create something else that works in those specific environments? Now, just to basically finish this episode, I want to say that there's a lot of content out there, and a lot of them it's free, and I think that's amazing. I have said it before that I even tell my students to go and look for other sources of free content, because now that you have someone who can help you with this, in terms of mentorship, it's easier for you to see what's good and what's bad. A lot of my students have told me, hey, have you watched this video? What do you think? And I tell them, hey, this is too good to be true. They are not giving you a back testing. This is probably, not working in reality. So they have that other kind of side. But if you really see, most of the people who sell courses, most of the people who try to teach you about trading or give you a strategy, they don't sell their time. They might probably sell a product, but they don't really sell their time. And at least with TC trading, this is at least my perspective. I want to sell not only the course but also my time, because I think that's where you get the value, where you get this one-to-one interaction, where you learn more. And I also learn a lot from my students, with the questions that they ask, and the feedback that I give them, I also learn. So I think that there's a lot of value in there, and probably even in the future, that's something that I'm still gonna be focusing on, one-to-one interactions. Maybe, I don't know, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, if I keep growing this, maybe I will hire other people, maybe they will be other kind of mentors, but I want to be evolving with TC trading. I want to be adapting with you guys, but with a correct approach, right? If you're starting, there's no reason why you shouldn't have kind of like a one-to-one. Sometimes we all need, when we're starting something new, kind of like this hand-holding period, right? I think that's very important if you're starting to learn a new skill and something. Even in this case where there's a lot of risk, that's gonna be tremendous help. In any case, traders and listeners, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the TCE Trading Podcast. I hope that you learn more about TC Trading and what I am offering. Have you been curious about trading and would you like to know more about it? Head to my webpage at www.tctrading.com to know how you can start learning. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care, guys.